जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव
जय
जय
कुंज
कुंज बिहारी।
बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरवरधारी।
जय गोपी
गोपी
जन
जन
वल्लभ
जय
गिरवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन
यशोदानंदन
यशोदानंदन
व्रज
व्रज
जन
जन
रंजन।
रंजन।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन
यशोदानंदन
व्रज
व्रज
जन
जन रंजन।
रंजन।
यमुना तीरा बनचारी।
यमुना
यमुना
तीरा
तीरा
वनचारी।
वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा बनचारी।
यमुना
यमुना
तीरा
तीरा
वनचारी।
वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा
राधा
माधव
माधव जय
जय
कुंज
कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
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 हरे
हरे हरे,
हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
हरे
हरे।
हरे।
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा।
Amazing. Thank you for starting us off.
हरे
Let's continue in the same hymn. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe.
जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन जय।
Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe.
जय राधा मदन मोहन, राधा मदन मोहन राधे।
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे।
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर, राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे।
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे।
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर, राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे।
जय कृष्णा बलराम कृष्णा बलराम कृष्णा बलराम जय कृष्णा बलराम।
जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम।
जय यशोदा रोहिणी धान कृष्णा बलराम यशोदा रोहिणी धान कृष्णा बलराम।
जय यशोदा रोहिणी धन कृष्ण बलराम, जय यशोदा रोहिणी धन कृष्ण बलराम।
जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय।
जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय, जय गौरनिताय।
जय निमानिताय 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 जय निमानिताय।
जय निमय निताय निमय निताय निमय निताय, जय निमय निताय।
जय जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि जय सचिनंदन गौर हरि।
जय
सचिनंदन
सचिनंदन गौर
जय गौर
हरि,
हरि जय
जय
सचिनंदन
सचिनंदन
गौर
गौर
हरि।
हरि।
विष्णु प्रिया प्राणधन जय गौर हरि विष्णु प्रिया प्राणधन गौर हरि।
विष्णु प्रिय
प्राण
Pran
धन
Dhan
गौर
Gaur Hari,
हरि विष्णु प्रिया
Vishnu Priya
प्राण
Pran
धन
Dhan
गौर
Gaur
हरि
Hari,
विष्णु प्रिया प्राण धन नदिया विहारी विष्णु दिया प्राण धन नदिया विहारी
Vishnu Priya
प्राण
Pran
धन
Dhan
नदिया
Nadiya
विहारी
Vihari, Vishnu
विष्णु प्रिया
Priya
प्राण
Pran
धन
Dhan Nadiya Vihari.
प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिला प्रभुपाद
Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Srila Prabhupada
गुरुदेव 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 जय हो गुरुदेव
Gurudev 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 Jai Gurudev
जय हो गुरु महाराज जय हो गुरु महाराज गुरु महाराज जय हो गुरु महाराज
Guru Maharaj Jai Guru Maharaj Guru Maharaj Jai Guru Maharaj
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
हरे कृष्णा
Krishna Hare Krishna. Wonderful.
So it's always nice to sing some nice kirtan and remember the holy names of Krishna because the essence of all the Hari Katha that we do and the Hari Katha ultimately is to sing about Krishna. Krishna said, those devotees who sing my glories, I quickly appear there. So when you really sing from the heart, it does not matter what sur or what tal is going on. But if you're singing from the heart, Krishna appears there. Right? So we should not worry about how we are singing, how our tal is, how our surs are. Of course, we can fine tune it, and we should definitely do our best to do this at the best of our ability. But we should not feel discouraged. If we don't naturally sing, it doesn't matter. I'm an example. I don't sing. At best, I'm a bathroom singer. Right? We can always work. We can learn a little bit of singing, but because finally, when we enter the kingdom of God, which is Golok Vrindavan, those who enter Golok Vrindavan, you have to learn to sing and dance because that's what you do there. You are having fun all the time. You're just enjoying all the time. You are singing and dancing all the time. So if not to learn to dance, then learn to sing. If not to sing, learn to dance. Something very basic, something very simple. Krishna is finally Bhavagrahi. That is certainly true. He accepts our mind, he accepts our mood, but to the best of our ability, we should learn to do everything nicely. Singing nicely, playing instruments nicely for the pleasure of Krishna, speaking nicely, managing nicely, cooking nicely, arranging things for him nicely, dressing your deities, making garlands. We should all do to the best of our ability. We should always tell ourselves, oh Krishna, this is the last service I'm performing for you. And at every service that I perform, I should perform like that. That this my Lord, this is the last garland I'm making in this body. Let me give my all my heart in this garland. And as soon as I finish this making this garland, I will die. I don't know next life where I will go. I don't even know if I know you, I'll remember you. But my Lord, you should know me. You should remember me. And this garland, I offer it to you. Like that, even your kirtan. Lord, this is the last kirtan I'm doing for you. Krishna, this is the last katha I'm doing for you. This is the last festival I'm arranging for you. This is the last time I'm able to dress the deity. This is the last time I'm listening to your katha, even if it's on Zoom. I may not see another sunrise. In this way, every service should be in the spirit of emergency, which is very, very, very important. So in this way, there is no question of being slackened. When we're hearing katha, we should have give everything to it. When we are singing, we should give everything to it. Our abilities are defined, but the key is to be able to use our ability in the best possible way. We get slackened when we have to do something, not we want to do something. So we should want to do things, right? For example, when we eat sweets, we don't slacken. We are very enthusiastic, right? We will, every quality will come, right? We are confident that these sweets won't add calorie to the body. We want to tell ourselves, I'm putting on weight, but no problem. This will not add, much calories. Utasyatat, nischasat, and dhairyat, right? Everything, all those qualities come in. But uttasat, utsahat means how much enthusiasm we take. So every service should be performed like that with full utsaha to the best of our ability. We are not artists, we are not musicians, we are not professionals, but there is nothing wrong in trying to be as professional as possible. So in this mood, after singing the names of Krishna, let us begin. We should sing, we should do our kirtan, saying, hey Lord, today is Sunday. Today is Sunday actually. And tomorrow, Monday, I may not be alive, but let me do my best. Let me give the best to the kirtan, to hear my katha, to give a katha, to dress you, to see you in the temple. It should be that mood. Right. So let's start with that mood today. ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जया शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण रघुनाथपितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगना ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितमश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानु सुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशी तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So this prayer is basically a prayer thanking all our Guru Parampara, right? As I mentioned before, when I'm also speaking, I'm just a parrot. I'm literally speaking what I've heard. But in this speaking, whatever mistakes I do are all mine. And whatever good, even one thing that you like is coming from the Gurus, my Guru Maharaj, my Guru Dev, and all the senior Vaishnavas I've heard. Today also, this class, I was very inspired and I'm just being a parrot of what I've heard. There's Amritna Das Prabhuji, who's been an amazing lecture on this. And of course, my own Guru Dev, Shri Radhesham Das Prabhuji. So this is just, I'm just being a parrot. So, please thank them and give value of good wishes to them. And if I say something wrong, please give all the beatings to me. Right. And this topic that I got inspired to speak on today is the topic of Purushottam Adhik Mas. Right? So there are three words in this, right? There is Purushottam, there is Adhik, there is Mas, right? So we will basically have the full lecture actually broken into three parts. So first, I'll try and speak about the glories of Purushottama, then Adhik, and then tell you what to do in this Mas. Right? So let me start by telling you a beautiful katha about Parikshit Maharaj. Right? This story begins at the end of Mahabharata. After the war, Ashwathama, the son of Dronacharya, in an anger, released a powerful Brahmastra to destroy the last year of the Pandavas. At that time, in the womb of Uttara, who's Uttara? The wife of Abhimanyu. There was a baby. Uttara ran to Lord Krishna and prayed, "Oh Krishna, please protect my child." So Krishna personally entered the womb and protected the child from the Brahmastra. That child was Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit grew up under the guidance of great personalities like Yudhishthira Maharaj, Kripacharya, and became a very powerful and very dharmic king. In fact, he is the last king before Kali Yuga started to come and descend in this world. He protected dharma, and he even restricted Kali, which is the age of quarrel. And he said you can only be at certain places. One day while hunting, Parikshit Maharaj became very tired and thirsty. He entered the ashram of a rishi called Shamika Rishi, who was in deep meditation. Parikshit Maharaj asked for water, but the rishi did not respond. In that moment of frustration, Parikshit Maharaj did something that he would normally not. He picked up a dead snake and he placed it around the sage's neck and then left. Later, when the sage's son Shringi Rishi, 5-year-old, heard about this, he became very angry. He cursed Parikshit Maharaj. He says, in these 7 days, King Parikshit, you will die from the bite of a snake called Takshaka. Takshaka is a bird, snake bird, right? So when Parikshit Maharaj heard about this, he did something extraordinary. He did not react with anger. He did not try to escape them. Instead, he gave up his kingdom, went to the banks of Ganga, and asked a simple question. What should a person do at the time of death? At that time, a great sage arrived, Sukhdev Goswami. Sukhdev Goswami is the son of Vyasdev. All the rishis present there requested Sukhdev Goswami to speak. So for the next 7 days, Sukhdev Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So if Bhagavad Gita is the graduation of spiritual life, Srimad Bhagavatam is the post-graduation of spiritual life. So what did Parikshit Maharaj do? He had 7 days left. And in that 7 days, he basically spent the time to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, right? He listened with full attention. He did not eat, he did not sleep, and he never got distracted. He simply heard about Krishna. And in those 7 days, he attained perfection and returned back to Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam is the highest of all the scriptures, because Vyasdev, after writing all the Puranas, all the different scriptures, he was still not very happy. Vyasdev basically sat at the banks of the river and he was lamenting that I have written so much, but I am not very happy. That's where Vyasdev's guru, Narad Muni, came. And Narad Muni told Vyasdev, you have written everything. You have written Shiv Puran, you've written all the different Purans, all the different scriptures, all the different Vedas, but you have not written about the Supreme Lord Krishna and his devotees. That's when it occurred to Vyasdev that I've written everything, but I've not written about the highest things, which is about Krishna and his pure devotees. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is Vyasdev's final, and the highest scripture that we have in our Sanatana Dharma. And that's what Parikshit Maharaj heard. He heard that for 7 days, right? And that's how he went back to he went back to Godhead, right? In the 7 days he attained perfection. He went back to Krishna. What makes Parikshit Maharaj great is that not that he never made a mistake. All of us make mistakes, but that when he was faced with the reality of death, he chose to fully turn towards Krishna. So what is the lesson? The lesson is very simple. We may not know how much time we have, but we can choose how to use it. Even a short time, if used properly, can bring us the highest perfection and the highest stage of consciousness. Right? So going back to Parikshit Maharaj, when he was sitting on the banks of the holy river Ganga and listening to Sukhdev Goswami, on the 5th day, Sukhdev Goswami is amazed to see the attention of Parikshit Maharaj. Right? So this Parikshit Maharaj, he's asking him, right? Before that, the word Parikshit itself, is very, very, the meaning of the word Parikshit is very interesting. The word Parikshit, in Hindi, we say Pariksha. Right? What does Pariksha mean? Anybody wants to comment?
Exam?
Exam.
Yeah. Pariksha means to examine, right? Nirikshan karna, right? Pariksha karna, right? Examine karna, right? To examine something very closely is called pariksha. Right? Even examination is called pariksha, as you rightly said. So Parikshit Maharaj was always examining. What was he examining? Right? So if you further braid pariksha, it is basis paritaha and ikshanam, right? Paritaha means outside, ikshanam means to see. So paritaha ikshanam iti parikshit, which means he who saw Shri Krishna in the womb, and paritaha came out with the desire to see that Krishna, same Krishna whom he saw inside, right? So he had this desire. Now I want to see him outside. He who wanted to examine every atom, every direction, every circumstance, the heart of every individual to see where can I find Krishna who protected me in the world, right? So then that he who was protected by Krishna in the womb, Parikshit Maharaj, he desires to see Krishna outside. So when Parikshit Maharaj is sitting in the banks of the Ganga, is listening to Sukdev Goswami, who's the son of Vyasdev, it is certainly amazing. Certainly amazing that someone who's got cursed to die by a snake bite, and not just an ordinary snake, but a snake bird called Takshak who will just come in from everywhere and bite you. Parikshit Maharaj just waited to be bitten. But the time that he had, he's lucky he knew he had 7 days. You and me don't even know if we have 7 minutes or 7 hours or 7 seconds. But he knew he was 7 days. But what did he do? He decided to use those 7 days hearing the Krishna Katha. Parikshit Maharaj was very powerful. He could have counter-cursed Shringi, the son of Samik Rishi or Samik Muni. But still, he had this very beautiful Vaishnava quality, which is called a Sahishnuta. Right? Srila Prabhupada writes a very beautiful purport in one of the prayers of Gajendra. We know the story of Gajendra. How many of us know the story of Gajendra?
No, no.
Okay. So Gajendra was an elephant. He was a king of elephants, right? And he was having fun with his whole family, with his girlfriends, with his kids in water, right? Suddenly, as he was having fun, a crocodile came and caught his leg, right? When the crocodile came and caught his leg, he and the crocodile fought for long, long time, many hundreds and years, hundreds and thousands of years, they say, right? All his family disappeared slowly from the scene. All his friends, all his girlfriends, all his kids, everything disappeared. And Gajendra was left fighting with this strong crocodile for so many years. Just when now the crocodile is in water and Gajendra is supposed to be on land. So slowly, King Gajendra started to become weak, right? And he said he saw a lotus flower in the river. He picked up the lotus flower with his sword, and he raised it up like this, and he said, "Oh Vishnu, now you only save me." When he did that, he was in the full mood of surrender, and he offered the lotus flower to Vishnu. Vishnu actually came on Garuda, threw his Sudarshan Chakra, cut the neck of the crocodile, and took Gajendra back to Godhead. Right? So when you are in that mode, when you're in that full mode of surrender, when you say, I don't want anything in this life, I only want you, Krishna, that's when Krishna comes and takes you. So Prabhupada writes, going back to the story, so Prabhupada writes a very brilliant purport in one of the prayers of Gajendra, right? Of Prabhupada's purports, everything is brilliant, but in this context, right? It is in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 14.8. Srila Prabhupada mentions this verse. Actually, let me see if I can open the verse for you. So what is the verse? 10.14.8, right? Tat te anukampam susamikshamaanaha bhunjana evatma kritam vipaka hrid vag vapurbhir vidadha namaste Jveta yo mukti padesa dayavan. So what does it mean? Right? So Prabhupada mentioned in this was tattenu kampan su samikshamana in a very beautiful way. He mentions that let's say something happens to us, right? We have had a relationship with someone and suddenly they start behaving differently, right? Um, last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, you should say I spoke to him nicely and everything was okay. But then 2 weeks later, today, that person is acting very weird, right? So we immediately start thinking, what has happened in the last 2 weeks? Is it not something that I did? We start thinking that 2 weeks ago everything was okay, but what changed today? What has happened in the last 2 weeks? So this is called as ikshamana, right? So we spoke about ikshamana, right? To think, to see there is something that went wrong. But Prabhupada explains, tattenu kampam susamiksha. Iksha means to see if something went wrong from my side in the past. Some iksha means to completely see, not just 2 weeks, right? To see something, if it happened 3 months ago, if there was a history of something that happened 1 year ago, how many times has this happened? How many times have I made the mistake in the past that this has happened? Something similar that has happened to someone else. And to completely analyze all this is called samiksha. Iksha is to see, samiksha is to see completely. Right? But that is again in this body. When things happen in such a way that we start thinking, wait a minute, this is something that has happened not in the last 2 weeks, not in the last 2 months, not in the last 2 years. Maybe something has happened in the previous life. So it's not ikshamana, it is some ikshamana, right? Su sam iksha. When we realize that something has happened because I have maybe I've done something in the past, this is called a susamiksha. And Prabhupada explains, one analyzes like that. Then tate anukampam, atmakritam. One understands that I have atmakritam. I am the one who has done it. And therefore, my Lord, I'm very happy that I deserve so much more, but you have reduced it to so little. Prabhupada writes actually very five beautiful points in regards to reversal in life as part of this sloka. And this is in context to Gajendra, right? And the crocodile. Right? Gajendra was actually was a king called King Indradamna in his previous life, and the crocodile was a Gandharva called Huhu in the previous life who was cursed to become a crocodile. So in this regard, Prabhupada mentions that when reversal happens in life, there are 5 things one must remember. And please make this as points. These are very, very, very interesting. Whenever you have reversals in life, whenever you're going through downs in life, write this, print it, and frame it. And look at it whenever you have any reversals, any negatives, any downs that are happening in life. Right? First thing, one has to remember that the other person is not responsible, I am responsible. Right? In that context, Prabhupada explained, Susamiksha Mana. To very carefully analyze that I have done something in my past life which has led to this. Understand? For example, yeah, see, this is a very heavy bottle in my hand, right? If I hit it on my head, then my head starts hurting, right? If I start blaming the bottle, all of you present here will laugh. ये क्या बोल रहा है? Bottle को क्या blame कर रहा है? इसने खुद अपने हाथ से उठा के मारा है ना? Because it's a foolish proposal, isn't it? If I hit myself with the bottle and I say, actually, you know the bottle is responsible. You will say, well, the bottle is responsible, but behind the bottle is your hand. So therefore, you are responsible. So the first point, Prabhupada explains that when reversals happen in life, who is responsible? I am responsible. Right? So we need to remember this. Okay. Then, so that's the first point, right? I am responsible. Second point, Prabhupada explains that the person is not at all, that other person is not at all responsible. In fact, he is kind enough to become the medium to facilitate our karma. Right? So you see, Maya always gives us the opposite result, right? It says, which is basically it means Maya. Maya means Ya means that which is not, and Ma means not, right? So not which is not. So when we think it is because other person is not, it's us, right? So Maya will always give us that opposite conclusion, but we have to realize that it is not us. You have to convince that the conclusion we are getting is the right conclusion. Right? So it's very interesting, right? So the second thing Prabhupada explains, the person who we blame the most, saying that why did he or she did that to me, actually that person is actually being very kind person in the whole creation because he's working as a medium from the Supreme Lord to reduce our karma. The quicker our karma gets destroyed, the faster we go back home, back to God. So this person, Prabhupada explains, whoever is facilitating, he's kind enough to be used as an instrument. So therefore, we are grateful for that person for being an instrument. Of course, this is easier said than done. Even I'm not at that ability to do that. Not the capability, and I still can't practice it. But I'm saying that we are a dwarf, and we may not be able to jump and touch the moon. But that does not mean that we stop glorifying the beauty of the moon. Maybe someday, although we cannot touch it, but maybe the moonbeams become kind enough to come close to us by mercy. So we have to make that endeavor to do and think like this, even if we may not be capable, we may not have the intellect, we may not have the intelligence, but we understood that first I am responsible, other person is not responsible, the other person is only being kind to come as a means for me to reduce my karma. Third point Prabhupada explains in this sloka. He explains is whatever good has come to me has been magnified. So whatever I've got good till now, I didn't deserve any of that. But it's only due to Krishna's mercy that I've got a 10x of that. Right? I didn't deserve any of that. I don't have the capabilities. I don't have the luck. I don't have the intelligence. I don't have the intellect. I have done nothing right. But Krishna is so kind that he's magnified it 10 times for me. Fourth point, whatever distress that had come to me actually has been reduced. I actually had to get much more than this. I've got away with very little. I could have gone, something major could have happened to me. But Krishna has reduced it to so little that I should be so grateful for it. And the fifth point, that this process has been orchestrated by Krishna, who is the most well-wishing friend for the living being, as the best, and is giving me the fastest situation to make material advancements. Right? So there's a very nice story of there are very nice prayers. If you go to an ISKCON temple, you should buy this very small book. It's called Kunti Maharani's Prayers. Again, these are coming from the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Kunti Maharani, as the mother of all the Pandavas, had to go through so much, right? They were thrown away from the kingdom. They were put into a lakh house where Duryodhan tried to burn them alive. Her daughter-in-law was disrobed. They had to live in the jungle in so much austerities. Always something or the other bad came upon them. But she said this Kunti Maharani's prayers, you should read it. I think that is the best prayers we can get to really understand that these problems are actually a blessing. So the prayers he ends with saying, Krishna, I'm so grateful for all the problems that have come, because if they would have not come, you would have not been with us. We would have not gone your blessing. We would have not got your association. I wish life after life, I continue to get those problems. But this is the mood of spiritual advancement, right? This is so amazing, right? That which we see as a reversal is actually an acceptance principle. It's so beautiful. I just love this purport. It's just very beautiful, right? It's something that is worth laminating and framing it, right, in our house. Whenever something happens, we can use it, we can read it, we'll be able to manage things so better. Going back to Parikshit Maharaj, who received this curse, he followed these 5 points of Vaishnava etiquettes. And instead of counter cursing Shringi, he went onto the banks of the holy river Ganga, submitted himself to the lotus feet of Sukhdev Goswami, and basically heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. So when you say Shukhadev, who is Shukha Dev? Who Shukha is he? Who is Shukha? Anybody knows what a Shukha means? So Shukha is means a parrot, right? He is Srimati Radharani's parrot, right? So when Radharani's parrot is speaking, right? we know the level of stuff that is being spoken, right? So Parikshit Maharaj came on the banks of Ganga, and he surrenders there to to Sukhdev Goswami, who's Vyasdev Sanandan, beta, right? And on the fifth day out of these 7 days that he's given life, which means the day before the day of his departure, Sukhdev Goswami is certainly amazed to see how much focus and confidence and fearlessness has Parikshit Maharaj developed. Because, the more closer we get to God realization, the more fearless we get. The more fearful we are, the more anxious we are, the more uncertain we are, the more we are away from God realization. Right? But honestly, I can also sit here and speak all these things, but when reversal comes into my life, my heart comes to my mouth, right? So I'm also not there. But as I said, we have to make an endeavor to touch the moon and hope that Krishna will still bless us, right? And because that is the state of all our conditioned souls, any reversals and they're perplexed. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? He talks about divine qualities. Right, and one of the divine qualities he mentions is abhayam, which is abhayam, fearlessness, right? So, I said, right, today is Sunday, assuming tomorrow is Monday, and I'm going to die. You think I'll be sitting here and speaking fearlessly in a class like this? I will say, no, Reena ji, you take care of the class or cancel it. Somehow you have to do something. I have very less time. I will say, I don't have the frame of mind. Please forgive me. But Parikshit Maharaj had 48 hours to go. And Shukdev Goswami asked him, hey Rajan, how do you feel? How have you developed in your consciousness? Do you feel hungry? Do you feel sleepy? Do you feel thirsty? And at that time, Parikshit Maharaj says an immortal verse. Again, just amazing verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Again, 10th canto, chapter 12, text 43, right? Which is beautiful. He speaks something very powerful about what real fortune means. So again, points to take. You have a notepad, note it down. It is all the fortune that we ask for in this world. It tells you what does real fortune mean, and it tells you how to get it. Right. So anybody who's looking to become has a lot of fortune, wants a lot of fortune, should really listen to this properly and put it in a notepad and remember. Right. So normally we think fortune means having wealth, having success, having comfort. But in spiritual life, fortune is defined very differently. So he describes 3 levels of fortune. First, a person is fortunate when they simply meet a devotee. Because so many people live their whole life without coming in touch with genuine spiritual guidance. It took me so many years that I wasted my life before I got any spiritual guidance. I'm so grateful to the Prabhuji who got me in. Right? So you're very fortunate that you met a devotee in this life. Otherwise, this whole human life you would have wasted fully, right? Without any genuine spiritual guidance. That is the first level of fortune. It's called dhanya. Second, a person becomes more fortunate that not only do they meet a devotee, but they actually associate with him. Sit with them, hear about Krishna Katha with sincerity, because many people meet devotees, but they don't take advantage of the association. So the best thing, whenever we see a devotee, you should remember, Krishna sent me someone who's so close to him. I should just catch his lotus feet and I should spend as much time as I can. Right? That's the second level of fortune. It's called Dhanya Tara. Dhanya Tara. Third, a person becomes most fortunate when they get the opportunity to fully absorb in hearing Krishna Katha in the right mood. Right? So 7 days before departure, hearing Bhagavatam from such a Rasik sadhu at the Ganga is Dhanya Atma. Right? So not just Dhanya Tara, but Dhanya Atma. Right? So Parikshit Maharaj says that he considers himself, Parikshit Maharaj is the king of the world. He has everything that you can imagine. Every car, every diamond, every jewelry, every big house, every big land, everything for that we call as fortune. Right? But he's saying that that he considers himself now as the most fortunate. Even though he had only 7 days to live, he was sitting on the banks of the Ganga, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from a realized saint like Sukhdev Goswami, surrounded by sincere speakers. Instead of feeling cursed or afraid, he told Sukhdev Goswami not to think he was unfortunate. Rather, he saw it as Krishna's arrangement for him to fully absorb himself on hearing. Again, he knew he had 7 days. None of us know how many days or minutes or seconds we have. So, by giving our life to hearing, right, is the highest thing that we can do. Just by hearing with full attention, like Parikshit Maharaj, properly with full sincerity, we can go back to Godhead. Right? Understand?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So Krishna says that this is the power of my devotees. He says, my devotee may be criticized, which is what we call as tiriskrita. My devotee may be cheated, which is called as vipralabha. My devotees may be cursed, which is called as shakta. My devotee may be ignored, which is called as shipta. But even at the time of death, which is hata api, he does not think of retaliation. Right? From this, we learn that a true devotee does not complain when things go wrong, does not blame others, does not feel victimized. Even when criticized, cheated, ignored, or placed in difficulty, they take shelter of Krishna and use the situation to grow spiritually. Right? And there have been many, many such stories. Right? We spoke about Ambrish Maharaj, if you remember. He was fasting in Ekadashi. The Durvasha Muni came there. Durvasha Muni is becomes very angry very fast. So Durvasha Muni said he was about to break his fast, Ambrish Maharaj, and Durvasha Muni tells him, wait, and he had fasted for like month, I think, or something more. And then there was Ekadashi and he was breaking it. So Durvasha Muni came, said, okay, I've just come, let me go take a bath. Now Ambrish Maharaj said, if I don't break the Ekadashi fast, because there's a time to break the Ekadashi fast, you know, I will not get I will not be completing my fast properly and duty towards Krishna. So he says, okay, I'll have a small drop of water. But Durvasha Muni was so powerful. He came to know that he had this small drop of water to break the fast. He really he really said, "No, I will kill you." So then suddenly the Sudarshan Chakra came and started following Durvasha Muni. Durvasha Muni ran. He went from here to there, but the Chakra would not leave him. He went to Shiva and he said, Shivji, please protect me. Shivji said, I cannot do anything. You go to Brahma. So he went to Brahma. Brahma said, I cannot do anything. You go to Vishnu. Finally, he went to Vishnu and he told Vishnu, please release me from this. He said, you have tried to trouble my devotee. You go and ask forgiveness from the devotee, and then only I will forgive you. Then only this chakra will leave you. So the Durvasha Muni goes back to Amrish Maharaj, and Amrish Maharaj, he asks for forgiveness. And he says, no, Maharaj, you are such a big, you come and sit on my throne. You are such a big Muni. I am sorry if I did a mistake. So what is the story? Even when he was criticized by Durvasha Muni, he did not think of retaliation. He forgave him, he gave him all the respect, and Krishna protects him. Another story of Bharat Maharaj. So this whole Bharat Desh that we live in is based on exactly Bharat Maharaj's name it is coming from. Right? When Bharat Maharaj was again a very pious king, when he was about to when he was getting old, he said he'll leave everything and he'll go to the jungle and meditate on the Lord. So he left everything, his kingdom, everything. He was the king of Bharat. Bharat was the world. India is where the whole world is started from, right? And But he left everything to go to the jungle. In the jungle, he was meditating. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he used to do this day and night, every day. And yeah, so so yeah, so then while he was doing that, he didn't have an association of any other devotees alone. While he was doing that, one day he was in the river. Just a second. His son has got Mother's Day flowers for his grandmom. Just a second. Good thing is my mom today on Mother's Day is sitting with me and hearing the lecture. So very, very impressed. So, so when he was taking a bath in the river, he suddenly saw a pregnant deer was being chased by a tiger or a lion, and she jumped into the river. When she jumped into the river, she gave birth to this baby deer, and the mother got swept away. Right? The mother got swept away, and so Bharat Maharaj basically said, "Oh, the small deer, where will he go? Let me take care of him." So he took him to his ashram and he started to take care of him. And instead of meditating Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, he started to meditate and take care of the deer. So what is the problem? Such a great king left everything, but he did not have the association of devotees. So as I said, three things are real, right? What are the three things of being real fortunate? Who wants to repeat?
Dhan, 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 dhan.
Dhanya, Dhanyatara, and Dhanyatma. Right? Dhanya means fortunate to meet a devotee, Dhanyatara getting his association, and Dhanyatma being able to absorb fully in hearing Krishna. He did not have any of it. So even such a great king, he got attached to a deer. One day the deer ran away as he became big. So he kept looking for him, and looking, he fell down and he died. So the next janam he became a deer. And in that year, he remembered some of his bhakti. So he went to an ashram. He left the grassy forest. He went, lived in an ashram, completely austere. And the next life, he again got a human life. And in this human life, he became Jad Bharat. This Jad Bharat, one day he was so naive and simple that anybody would tell him anything, he would do it. So one day he was going, and the Vanvasis who were doing Kali Mata's worship took him for saying isko bali de dete hain because isse hame ichha puri nahi. So they took him to sacrifice to Durga Devi. Right? Again, what has happened for him? He was taken to die. He was on the verge of departure. Hatha api. Right? He did not do anything. And then there's a full story that Kali Mata came out and killed all these Vanvasis, and then Jarbharat was saved. But again, at the time of departure, he did not protest. He was very powerful, very strong, but he did not protest. He asked, let them do what he wanted to do. But he had so much trust in the God, in God, that nothing happened. We heard the story of, who did we hear a story of a few days back with Lord Narasimha, who was also similar to this? Prahlad Maharaj. So many times his father tried to kill him, but he had full trust in Krishna. He never said anything bad about his father. He was grateful that Krishna is giving him all these opportunities, and Krishna came and saved him every single time. Right? Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj, Pandavas, they were in this Vipralabdha stage where they cheated of their kingdom, but they also didn't do anything. So even when there are reversals like this, devotees, high class Vaishnavas, they take shelter of Krishna. So Parikshit Maharaj, instead of complaining, criticizing, blaming, he just focused on hearing the Krishna Katha. So when Shukdev Goswami is having this conversation, Parikshit Maharaj would have said, what is the need for Shingu to act like this? Parikshit Maharaj would have started speaking. He says, I agree, I made a mistake, but I shouldn't have put that cold snake around the neck of Shamik Rishi. But this 5-year-old boy, who told him to intervene? Who do you think of himself? Okay, I made a mistake, but he also made a mistake. He could have sat and analyzed and opened up the boxes like that of Shamak Rishi. He may say Shamak Rishi may not be so advanced. He thought he was the way he was acting as he was meditating, but maybe he was not such an advanced devotee. Okay, maybe he was absorbed, but at least he could have paid some respect to the king. So all of this analysis could have continued like we generally do, right? What do we do? When we are in such situations, first thing we do is we blame. Second, we criticize. Write this. We blame, we criticize, we complain. What is this? Blame, criticize, complain. Blame, criticize, complain. BCC. Right? Whenever there's an email that we send, you remember BCC? Right? There's a two fields called CC, which is, what is CC? Carbon copy. Then there is BCC, which is blind carbon copy. So every time we get an email or we shoot an email, we see that BCC, we should remember that three responses we gave. We blame, we criticize, we complain. We blame, we criticize, complain. Blame, criticize, complain. We should remember. At that time, Parikshit Maharaj was so beautiful. No blame, no complaint, no criticism. Right? So that is what a pure devotee is. Right? He doesn't complain, he doesn't blame, he doesn't criticize. Prahlad Maharaj on Hiranyakashipu, no blame, no complaint, no criticize. Right? Gajendra, no blame, no complaint, no criticism against the crocodile. Right? And that is why these great souls, their stories, and they have their spots in the pages of the highest scripture in the world, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? So in that context, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, right? He's saying, oh dear Gurudev, in this world, I'm most fortunate because I'm getting the chance to drink this Krishna Katha from your lotus lips. Right? And this Krishna Katha is all purifying and all pure. Krishna Katha Amritam. Amritam, the nectar of Krishna Katha. Right? So there's a very senior sannyasi Maharaj in ISKCON, Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj. He would always explain the glories of Hari Katha. And he would say this verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam, again 12th canto. Ad eva ramyam ruchiram navam navam, tad eva shashvan manaso manotsavam, tad eva sokarnava sosanam nitam, yat uttama shloke yaso anugiyate. Right? So before speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, he would quote this verse many times. What does it mean? Tad eva ramyam. Right? He would say, this Krishna Katha is Ramya, very, very attractive to the ear. Right? We know the word Ram, Ramante, Radha, Raman, right? To enjoy, to frolic. Right? So Ramya means very attractive. Something very charming. Ramya, Ramane, Raman, Rantavya, all of these words in Sanskrit. Tadaiva Ramyam, Krishna Katha is very, very attractive. Then he says, Ruchiram Navam Navam. Some pastime you hear so many times. You want me to put the sloka? I think that'll be easy way to be able to relate to it better. You can see this?
Yes.
Right? So he said Krishna Katha is very Ramya. You can see Ramya there. Tad eva Ramya, right? Overall. So it's so attractive to the ear. And Ruchiram Navam Navam, same pastime you hear so many times. It's so beautiful. How many times we've heard of Krishna's pastimes, right? From bachpan se our parents, our elders, TV mein, we've been hearing it, but every time we still hear it, we are still in love with it, right? Overall. But we still wait every time we get an opportunity to hear any story about Krishna, right? Navam Mavam, newer and newer revelations, newer and newer meanings, newer and newer commentaries, newer and newer application points. That Katha keeps expanding, right? It's like a cotton swab. You can pluck as many pieces as possible out of it. And Tadaiva Shashvat, eternally Manusho Manutsvam. Manaso means heart or mind. Mahotsava means Mahan Utsav. To the heart, the mind is Krishna Katha brings great jubilation, great joy. Right? So this is basically what Krishna Katha does to us. Right? So Prabhupada explains, right? He says it's Shotra Mana Abhirama. Right? And that means Shotra means to ear, Mana means to the mind, Abhirama means very charming and pleasing. Right? So somebody may ask, how is it pleasing to the so we could say it is very pleasing to the ear and the mind. But somebody may ask, how is it attractive to the ear and to the mind? So Prabhupada Brother explains, when you sing it, it's attractive to the ear. When you understand the meaning, it's attractive to the mind. And when you follow it, it drenches the heart. Tadaya Vishashvad Manosho Manotsavam. Right? It's a great festival of joy in the heart. the ocean of, of Shoka, lamentation, Shoshanam, Krishna Katha completely dries it up, right? So, so very beautiful example. Ramchandra, when he was standing near the ocean, he said, "Let it remain as it is. We'll build a bridge across." But Sukhdev Goswami, why he said, "Why do we build a bridge? We will just dry up the ocean with Krishna Katha." so, so it is. It really is. Tadeva shoka aranava shoshanam drinam yad uttama shloke yashashnu giyate. So the word used here is Uttam Shloka. Uttam Shloka is the name for Krishna. Uttam Shloke Yoshunu Giyate. Yasha Anu Giyate. Giyate means to sing. Anu means repeatedly. And Anu Giyate means repeatedly, right? So Yad Uttama Shloke Yashu Giyate. By repeatedly singing the fame, the glories of Uttam Shloka Shri Krishna. So what does the word Uttam Shloka mean? So Prabhupada explains, Uttam means high class and Shloka means verses. Choicest poetry is what Prabhupada has termed as that. Choicest poetry. Remember the word choicest poetry. So these verses which glorify Krishna are the best. So these shlokas which glorify Krishna are Uttam. Or he from whom Uttam shlokas are used is choicest. So very interesting. Uttam shloka, that Krishna for him, Uttam shloka, the best shlokas are used. These are the best shlokas. And or that personality Shri Krishna, for whom verses are used, but they became glorious. Why? Because they have used in their presence. So hence Krishna is called as Uttam Shloka. He is not just Uttam Shloka because of this reason. There's one more reason. Right? Krishna is not just Uttama. He is Pushottama. So now we have come to our topic of Pushottama Adhik Mas, right? He's Purusha Uttama. He is Purusha Uttama. He is the ultimate. He is the source of everything. That is Purusha, not just Purusha. He is Purusha Uttama. He is the Uttam. He is the Uttam of all the Purushas, the best of all the Purushas. He is the source of everything. So Purusha means Supreme Lord in the enjoying spirit. He who has the source of moving and non-moving, that Purusha, not just Purusha, he is Purusha Uttama. So when we start discussing the glories of Purusha Uttama Adhik Mas, which is this month, Purusha Uttama Adhik Mas, it's a long title. You want to first discuss only about Purusha Uttama. Therefore, the whole build-up of this topic from Srimad Bhagavatam into a discussion. So Krishna is called as Purusha Uttama. He's always Purusha Uttama. When he appears as Ramchandra, he's Maryada Purushottama. You've heard Maryada Purushottama? And we tell him Ram Bhagwan is Maryada Purushottama. Maryada?
Yes.
Because that Supreme Lord, you always follow the rules. You will never see Ram Bhagwan pick up a mountain or dance on the hoods of a snake or swallow a forest fire. Ram never does that. Not that he cannot do it, but he follows the path so that all of us can follow behind him. It's for us. And who's Shri Krishna? Krishna is Purushama. He's also Purusha Uttama in Dwapar Yuga. Ramchandra in Treta Yuga is Maryada Purushottama. Krishna in Dwapar Yuga is also Purushottama. Right? But he is Leela Purushottama. Leela Purushottama, Leela Vihari, Vrindavan Vihari. What does he do? He's enjoying. He's always frolicking. He's play the flute. He will jump around trees. He will jump behind cows and calves. He will swim in the Yamuna. He'll climb on top of the mountain. He'll play with the cows there. And sometimes he will lift the mountain. That is why he is Leela Vihari. That is Krishna. Right? So one is Maryada Purushottam, who is always following the rules. God does not have to follow the rules, but that is his greatness. To teach us, he comes and follows the rules. Right? How beautiful is that? It's like parents already know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, but they will still hold the hands of their child and write A, B, C, D. Not that the parents don't know A, B, C, D, but they want to personally hold the hand of the child and teach. So that is Sri Ram and Sri Krishna. Does he follow the rules? What rules? Sri Ram says, and he says, follow the set rules. Krishna performs his own pastimes and he says, I will write the rules. He's Leela Vihari. No rules can be behind him. So Treta Yuga, Maryada Purushottama, Dwapar Yuga, Leela Purushottama. And then in Kali Yuga, Prema Purushottama. He comes to give Prema. And that same Purushottama Bhagwan comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? So if you go to any ISKCON temple, you will have Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityanand Prabhu on one side. You will have Radha Krishna And you could have Jagannath deities, you could have Lord Ramchandra deities, depends upon which temple you go. But you will always see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. And the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is here to give us prema for Krishna. So he's prema Purushottama. He comes and gives prem. He says there's no qualification, no disqualification. Anybody and everybody is come here to give prem. Right? He has no consideration whether someone is qualified, not qualified, disqualified, capable, not capable, nothing. He just comes and gives prem for Krishna. Right? So he doesn't see whether this place is proper or improper because he's Prema Purushottama. Right? So in whichever incarnation the Supreme Lord takes, he's always Purushottama. Right? The other piece you should know, how many of you have gone to Jagannath Puri? Anybody's gone to Jagannath Puri?
Yes, I have.
No.
Okay, so Abhinav's gone. Good. So Jagannath Puri is also known as Purushottama Kshetra. Right? That is the eternal land of the Supreme Lord. When the world ends, which is the Mahapralaya, right? After Kali Yuga, the world will end. But that place never sinks. Right? So it's the eternal land of the Supreme Lord, which does not sink even in the time of Mahapralaya. That is Purushottam Kshetra. That's the Kshetra Mahatma in the Skanda Purana. That place is called Purushottam Kshetra Sri Jagannath Puri. Jagannath is called Purushottam, Purushottam Bhagwan. He is always Purushottam, so much so that his land is called Purushottam Dham. Purushottam Kshetra, Leelachal Dham, Sri Kshetra, Shankar Kshetra, so many names are there for Puri. But we should remember Purushottam Kshetra is very prominent, is the most prominent. Because that is the eternal resting place of Purushottam Bhagwan, the Supreme Lord. So this name Purushottam is very, very beautiful. Now let me tell you a second story. Right? So you've now heard about Parikshit Maharaj and so much learning from his life. In the Narsim Puran, it is described that when Hiranyakashipu, we know Narsim Bhagwan ka story. How many of us don't know it? Can just say, I don't know. Okay, so
Partially remember.
Okay, so anybody else quickly 1 minute can talk about the story of Narsim Bhagwan? Anybody? Yeah, try Sudipta. Go ahead.
I remember it from the movie that you suggested, no, on the Netflix. I saw it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So, Prahlad was born and he was a very ardent devotee of Vishnu, and his father, Hiranyakashyap, he was like, I'm the supreme and all of that. And he said, कि मेरी पूजा करो, and बहुत problems create की सबके लिए. And he was also very pissed off कि उनका अपना बेटा क्यों इतना वो कर रहा है. And then he wanted to kill him. However, he said that, it doesn't matter. And he was still chanting the name. And then ultimately, he was, उनका संहार उन्होंने ही किया.
Yeah. So basically, so Hiranyakashipu was a demon and he said, I want to be the king. He had a son called Prahlad, who was an ardent devotee of Vishnu. He used to like, तुम विष्णु का नाम क्यों लेते रहते हो? मेरा नाम लो, मैं भगवान हूँ. He broke all the temples. He killed all the devotees. He troubled everything. He destroyed the deities, all of that. And this boon, and he got a boon from Brahma by many, many years and thousands of years of austerity that he cannot be killed, right? So when he told Brahma, Brahma said, even I can't give you a boon that you will live on forever, but you tell me what else you want. So he said, he said, I should not be, nobody should be able, I should not die inside the house or outside the house. I don't want to be killed, I don't want to die by the hands or by weapons. I don't want to be die by the hands of a human or an animal or a bird. I don't want to die in the air, the water or land. I don't want to die, during the sun or the moon. I don't want to die in any way possible. So he made all the rules, right? So these are all the rules that he made. And then Lord came as Narsimdev, half lion, half man. Fought with him, did masti for him for many hours till it became evening, which is neither day, neither night. It took him to the edge of the house, which was neither inside the house or the outside of the house. Chaukhad bolte, chaukhad pe le gaya, right? He didn't kill him by hands or weapons. He had big nails like a lion. So he used the lion nails to take out his intestines and kill him. But why did he do that? That is Lord Narsimha. So Lord Narsimha came for his devotee Prahlad. So God always appears for to save his devotees. We've covered this in the Bhagavad Gita classes we've done, right? So this is the story, right? You should see the movie if you have not seen the movie. It's on Netflix. Mahavatar Narasimha. It's the most entertaining movie you will see with your kids, with your family. If you have not seen it, I think I've mentioned it every class. You should see. It's really fun. It's like full of action, drama, everything that you can think of, and it's generally made by an ISKCON devotee. So it's not a movie that has been distorted in any way. Even though the songs and the songs are originally from the Bhagavatam, right? So just going back to it. In Narsim Puran, it mentions there was one more thing he asked for. He said, "Oh Brahmaji, please benedict me that I should not die in the 12 months of the year." Right? So he thought he had sealed up everything proper, right? He said, "कुछ नहीं हो सकता, अब तो मुझे कोई नहीं मार सकता," right? Nobody is going to kill me inside the house, outside the house. Nobody is going to kill me in the air or in the water or in the land. No man, no animal, no bird is going to kill me. I'm not going to die during sunrise. I'm not going to die during noon. I'm not going to die during night. Day or night, I'm not going to die in any circumstances. And let me seal the time factor also. Let me not die in the 12 months of the year. So Brahmaji said, Tathastu, right? Now, how is this going to happen? Right? Therefore, our Purushottam Bhagwan, our Supreme Lord, Narsimha, he created a month called as the Purushottam Mas, right? It is not part of the 12 months. And that's a special month, the 13th month that the Puranas described. It is that Purushottam Mas, which is when this is the month in which Narsim Devji appeared. So all the words of Brahmaji were intact, right? Know that inside the house nor outside the house, he was taken to the footsteps of the house, neither in the sky nor in the land, not in air. He placed them in the lap. Narsimha Bhagavan placed him in the lap. So that's not ground, that's not air. I should not be killed by man or animal. Well, that is Narsimha, half lion, half human. I should not be killed by weapons. So he used the nails. He said, I don't want to be killed by hands. So he used the nails. And as far as 12 months are concerned, he created an extra month that is called as the Adhik Mas, the additional month, the 13th month. And he said, now what do you have to say? And he destroyed Hiranyakashipu in this month, according to the Puranas, right? So interesting so far. Are you understanding Purushottama? Are you understanding the 13th month?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does Hiranyakashipu actually represent? Hiranyakashipu represents our false ego. The false ego cannot be destroyed inside the house or outside the house. False ego cannot be destroyed in the sky. Even becoming Indra, it cannot be destroyed. In Patal, it cannot be destroyed. In Bhumandal, it cannot be destroyed. False ego cannot be destroyed in water. False ego cannot be destroyed by man or animal. False ego cannot be destroyed by hands or weapon. I mentioned this in the earlier class. False ego is the cause of all our problems in our life, right? Because we believe we are controllers. We believe मैं कर सकता हूँ, but we forget that he is the controller. We have no capabilities. Everything that's happened is because of him, and that is false ego, right? So you can blast the whole body, and our body will rip into pieces in a bomb blast, but false ego will continue to be there, right? And that's why you take another body. The subtle body continues. It cannot be destroyed. Absolutely cannot be destroyed. But Narsim Dev teaches us if someone respects this Adhik Mas, then he personally, by his own sweet will, he will destroy the Hiranyakashipu false ego in our heart of the devotees. How beautiful is that? Right? It is just it is just amazingly wonderful. Personally, for me, my journey also started in Adhik Mas many years back. It is such an amazing special month in which if we take to Krishna Katha seriously, our life can completely change, right? There's one more Katha for Purushottam. Give me a second. So I spoke about Adhik Mas, but again, let me go back to Purushottam, right? So there's a nice story from Mahabharata, right? We all know the fight between Bhim and Jarasandh. How many know Bhim and Jarasandh ka fight? Remember? सबने महाभारत देखी है ना टीवी पे बचपन में.
Yes.
So Jarasandha was split apart, right, from his legs, and he was thrown one part this side, one part this side, right? So Bhim and Jarasandha had a very heroic fight going on for a long, long time, so many days. And so finally, when Sri Krishna, is a very famous story, and maybe let me see if we can find a video on YouTube. Okay, I think there are lots of videos. You can see?
Yeah.
And this is the original one that we have all grown up, but it's 9 minutes long. And let's see this. Yeah.
जरासंध की खासियत यह थी कि वह युद्ध में मरता नहीं था, उसे अक्सर मल्ल युद्ध लड़ने का शौक था। श्री कृष्ण ने जरासंध का वध करने की योजना बनाई। योजना के अनुसार भगवान श्री कृष्ण, भीम और अर्जुन ब्राह्मण के वेश में जरासंध के पास पहुंच गए और उसे कुश्ती के लिए ललकारा, लेकिन जरासंध समझ गया कि ये ब्राह्मण नहीं है। तब श्री कृष्ण ने अपना वास्तविक परिचय दिया। कुछ सोचकर अंत में जरासंध ने भीम से कुश्ती लड़ने का निश्चय किया। अखाड़े में राजा जरासंध और भीम का युद्ध कार्तिक कृष्ण प्रतिपदा से 13 दिन तक लगातार चलता रहा। इन दिनों में भीम ने जरासंध को जंघा से उखाड़कर कई बार 2 टुकड़े कर दिए, लेकिन वे टुकड़े हर बार जुड़कर फिर से जीवित हो जाते और जरासंध फिर से युद्ध करने लगा। भीम लगभग थक ही गया था कि 14वें दिन श्री कृष्ण ने एक तिनके को बीच में से तोड़कर उसके दोनों भाग को विपरीत दिशा में फेंक दिया। भीम श्री कृष्ण का यह इशारा समझ गए और उन्होंने वही किया। उन्होंने जरासंध को 2 फाड़ कर उसके एक फाड़ को दूसरे फाड़ की ओर तथा दूसरे फाड़ को पहले फाड़ की दिशा में फेंक दिया। इस तरह जरासंध का अंत हो गया। जरासंध की खासियत यह थी कि वह नहीं था, उसे अक्सर मल्ल युद्ध।
The video wasn't the best, but you got the story, right? समझ में आया?
Yeah,
बट
yeah.
उल्टा उल्टा क्यों फेंका कि चिपक नहीं सके वापस?
हाँ, चिपक नहीं सकते, तो इसका स्टोरी है, राइट? सो जरासंध का नाम कैसे पड़ा? जरा was a tribal lady and Sandha means Sandhi. So when Jarasandh was born, he was born in 2 portions. So the tribal lady in the forest put them together and therefore he got the name Jarasandh. जरा के द्वारे जो संधि हुआ वो है जरासंध, right? So now Krishna prompted to Bhimsen that he is Sandha, right? Which means he's joined. In Sanskrit we also said Sandhi, right? Sandhi Viched, Sandhi, to join things, right? So he's joined. So Krishna said, if you keep him near, he will join again near and near, right? So you have to throw him the other way. So when Jarasandh saw that Krishna was the one who prompted Bhimsen with this technique of killing him as he died, he cursed Krishna with 2 swear words, right? Imagine cursing Krishna. So there were 2 swear words he used to curse Krishna. First he said Bandhuhan. Bandhu means relative and Han means Hanyate. Na Hanyate Hanyamane Sharire. Hanam Tatu in Sanskrit it means to kill. So Bandhuhan, you Krishna, you are so low class, you killed your own mama Kamsa. You are Bandhuhan. So this was one curse he gave him while he was dying. And the second swear word, second bad word that he uttered as he died was Purushadhama. Purusha means person, Adhama means low class. He who is among the lowest of men. Right? But guess what? After he chanted this in complete absorption, he got liberated. So someone will say he criticized Krishna. How did he get the Parampadam or Paramgati or got liberated? How can he get it? Because our Saraswati Devi is very merciful. As Vani Shakti, the goddess of our Vak Shakti, our speech, she made very positive undertaking of this verse. She said, "Oh Bandhuhan, Krishna was glorified as Bandhuhan." What does that? What does that mean? The actual meaning was he who killed his own relative. But what the sweet meaning that Mother Saraswati placed on the lotus feet of Krishna, the sweet meaning is Bandhu. Bandhu means that person whom we have bandhan, sambandha, to be completely bound up. So who's that person with whom we have sambandha lifetime after lifetime in this material world? All of us living entity believes that is Maya Shakti, right? So Maya is supposed to be Bandhu. And oh, Krishna, you are the only Lord, Bandhuhan, who can destroy the effects of Maya Shakti in the life of conditions. So how beautiful is that, right? So Bandhuhan, which was actually a criticism by Jarasandha, became glorious, right? So why are we saying this story, right? Because of the second swear word. Second swear word, he said, Purushadhama. Purusha means man, Adhama means low class. Oh, that Krishna, Jarasan's son. So not me, not us. We cannot say all these things. He's a love, he's a sweetheart, he's a pranath. But Jarasandha said, Purshudham, in this society of Purusha members or human society, you are Adhama, you are low class. So, but what did Mother Saraswati make out of it? Oh, Krishna, Jarasan glorified you as Purushadhama. He glorified means he who is the Purusha in comparison to everyone who's Adhama. So, everyone who's low class, he is the only Purusha. Which means, Krishna, you are not Purushadhama, you are Purushottama. So, in comparison to everyone, you are the topmost. Which means you are such that in comparison to you, everyone is Adhama. Therefore, Purushodhama, you see. So that's another reference, right? So how by saying the words Purushottama in front of Krishna, even someone as sinful as Jarasandha got liberation. So imagine if the name Purushottama is so dear to Krishna, how dear is the month, which is who has the name Purushottama, right? And we are still in the first word, dear devotees, which is Purushottam Adhik Mas. So we have a long katha going on, and this is called Purushottam Adhik Mas. Now we go to the second word, right? This is the next part of this, right? So the Adhik Mas, right? Why is it called Adhik Mas? So we say that Narsim Bhagwan inserted the 13th month. Yes, Adhik means extra, but there's a history to it, right? So let's go to astronomy. Vasishtha Muni, in the pages of astronomy, which is the Jyotish Shastra, he explained this. When we look at the night, right, sky, sometimes we see a lot of constellations, star constellations, and they move in the sky. It's almost like the sky is like a globe and crystals are being projected, and we are sitting here and observing in the night sky, right? We can see these constellations, but these constellations they move as if someone is rotating the globe. Of course, from our perspective, when we see hame to lagta है fixed hai, but if you come and see it in the later part of the night, you will see they would have moved a bit. These constellations, these star constellations, they're all at a fixed distance, right? So from our perspective, we believe वो वहीं पर है, but there is movement if you watch it through the night, right? But they don't move with respect to each other. It is almost like a still picture as far as distance from each other is concerned. So when we keep observing this all night, you will see the steady movement that will happen from east to west, as if the entire sky is making a movement and they rise, every night, right? So when they're moving and different months pass, different constellations are visible at night. So we don't see the same constellation from a place. That shows that it's moving, right? Overall. So it's getting a little technical, right? Hope that's fine. But sometimes, we have to give scientific principles to see that, what we are following. And it's not just Gyan, right? But it's Vigyan, which is spiritual science. So constellations, they keep moving and they rise and they move every 4 minutes in the night overall, right? This is the movement from east to west. Now, at the same time, these are planetary movements and planets almost move in a strip, right? They move in a strip. It's almost like the center part of the sky, roughly speaking. So if you've learned this planet, right, I say dikhate hain planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, like a strip, right? Overall, they keep moving. And the planets also, they have a relative change in the position. It's almost like they're moving in a belt, right? They're complex movements, forward movements, backward movements, right? Overall. But as far as movements are concerned, we are mainly concerned with the movement of the sun and the moon at this point, right? But the sun also moves, the moon also moves, and the moon moves in the background of these constellations, right? These constellations are moving. The moon has its own movement in the sky, right? So now hear this very carefully. It's very beautiful, right? When the moon moves and comes back exactly to the same constellation at the same spot from the point we have observed, that is called as one lunar year. The same spot that the moon comes back after the movement in the same position of the star constellation, that is one lunar year according to the moon, that is lunar. And roughly when you calculate, this is about 354 days, right? So remember, point number one lunar year is 354 days. So when you do this math divided by 12, each month is about 29 days per month, right? That is a lunar month. So one lunar year is 354 days. One lunar month divided by 12 is about 29 and a half days. Similarly, the sun also has its own constellation movement. So similarly, the sun will also be at a specific point at a specific spot. It starts off with a specific point in the sky and a specific constellation, and it moves back and forth to the same spot in the same constellation. That is one solar year, right? Of course, the speed or movement of the sun and moon are different, but they also follow the trajectory. And they follow different trajectory, right? So therefore, it takes different times for each of them to come back to the original spot, right? Understand? You're with me?
Yes, Lalit.
So the
Yeah.
moon takes 354 days to come back to the same spot, which means one lunar year is 354 days. But the sun, because the movement is different, the speed is different, the trajectory is different, the sun covers the same speed, the same movement in 365 days. So one solar year is 365 days, which is what our English calendar is. Right? But the one lunar year is 354 days. So what is the difference? कितने दिन का difference है? Solar और lunar में? 365 minus 354? 11 days. Right? So every year, the lunar calendar and the solar calendar, they have a difference of 11 days. The lunar calendar is lagging behind by around 11 to 12 days, which means in 2 years, it becomes 22 days. And in about 2.5 years, it becomes 30 days. Right? So at the end of the 2.5 years, or 2.5 years, the difference between the solar and the lunar calendar is such that the difference is about 30 days. So you add a month of 30 days to put the calendars back to track. Right? So that difference, right, because the calendars are different and because complications may arise in calculations, this 30th, this month is added, right? Of course, from a Vedic perspective, most of the things we do are on the lunar calendar, right? So Vasisht Muni in this astrological pages of Jyotish Shastra, he mentions that after roughly 32 months and 16 days, right, the calendar goes off and exactly matches about 30-31 days. So therefore, a month is added after 2.5, 3 years, so that the calendars come back to track, right? So if you see and see, if you see the 32 months, this is about 2 years and 8 months, right? So after 2 years and 8 months and 16 days, the calendars go off and a 30-day difference comes in. So when this 30 days added to put calendars back, that is called as Adhik Mas astrologically. This is the explanation as far as astrology is concerned, right? But we follow the solar calendar in our daily life. But all the festivals, the vratas we follow is a lunar calendar. And that is the reason festival dates shift every year. Right? All the Hindu festivals, all our Sanatana Dharma festivals change dates. Janmashtami is not on the same date every month. Holi is not on the same day. Diwali is not on the same day. Right? So and that it is because of this movement between the lunar and the solar. We follow a solar calendar, but हमेशा बोलते हैं ना आपका birthday, but हिंदू तिथि के हिसाब से आपका birthday कब है? Because we are all actually we should be following the lunar calendar, but we follow the solar calendar. Overall, it's easy to manage, right? Overall, right? So simple takeaway: we don't add a normal month to our normal calendar. The extra month exists in the lunar spiritual calendar to keep the time aligned. And Krishna turned that adjusted month into a more spiritually powerful month, which is the Purushottam Adhik Mas, right? Understand? So even when sometimes you keep, people who give Navaratras, right? तो कभी अष्टमी नवमी एक दिन हो जाता है, कभी सप्तमी के दिन ही अष्टमी हो जाता है. Similarly, कभी एकादशी द्वादशी comes on the same day. All this is because everything that we do is around the lunar calendar, right? Overall. And we are trying to map the lunar calendar in the solar calendar, right? Understand?
Yes, very
Yes.
interesting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that is the science behind what is happening, right? So now it gets even more interesting. When you add this extra month with Purushottam, which is Purushottam and Adhik together, this is going to be amazing, right? Because Adhik Mas comes once in 2 to 3 years, right? Overall. But if you know, how many of you know the names of Hindu, what is the Hindu names of the month? Shravan, Bhadrapad, Ashwin, Kartik, right? Those are the actual names that are given. Chaitra, Vaishak, etc. We call it January, February, March, April, etc. These names are coming in a different cycle. They're coming in the solar cycle, right? Overall. But January, February have different origins, right? Actually, it's funny how English language is. So January actually comes from this word called Janus. Janus means two-faced. Imagine starting your year being two-faced, right? So that's hypocrisy, and that's what we follow. But that's what it is. But in the Vedic month, these are called as Chaitra, Vaishak, Madhumas. So the January is called as Madhumas because it's Madhu Madhav. It's Krishna's Madhav. It's like honey bees go and collect honey, Madhu, and that is Krishna. So that's what's called Madhumas, like that, right? So there's beautiful meanings of every month in the Hindu calendar has a connection to Krishna. And maybe I'll tell you later about it, but it's very beautiful, right? Across the board. There's another month which is called an Ashad Mas, which happens somewhere in June, July, right? So just remember Ashad Mas, right? Um, right? So the Ekadashi that comes in Ashad Mas is called Ashad Ekadashi and so on and so forth, right? So going back to Adhik Mas, the Adhik Mas comes once only in 2-3 years. Then Adhik Mas comes on Ashad Mas, which is the June-July wala period. It coincides with Ashad Mas. That is when Jagannath Dev in in Purushottama Kshetra has a Nava Kalevar. What is Nava Kalevar? The change of deity. How many of you that every 12, 13, 15, 18, 19 years, the the body, because it's made of wood, of Jagannath ji is changed? How many of you knew this?
Because
I've
I've
heard
heard
it.
about it.
I've
Yeah.
heard it, but yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know why, but we know it is
So
done.
now you know why, right? So this is, as I said, I was so excited about this class. There's so much interesting stuff in this month. So when we say Purushottam Adhik, that is interesting, right? So when Adhik Mas, the extra month, comes in Ashad Mas, and it doesn't happen every time. It happens sometimes in 12 years, 13 years, 19 years. Therefore, the change of Jagannath's transcendental body also happens in low It's not fixed. It's not that after every 12, 13, 19 it will happen. The concept is when Adhik Mas, Purushottam Adhik Mas comes in Ashad Mas, which could be whenever, that is when the Nava Kalevar takes place, which is the change of the body of Lord Jagannath. And that typically Purushottam Adhik Mas comes in, and that is when the Purushottam Adhik Mas comes in the middle of Ashad Mas, right? So there's a bit of Ashad Mas in the beginning, then Adhik Mas comes in, and a bit of Ashad Mas to the end. So isn't that so beautiful, right? Purushottam Dev, that is a Lord Jagannath, he appears again and again and again when Adhik Mas comes in Ashad Mas. So Purushottam Adhik Mas. It's just outstanding, right? Overall. Right? So Jagannath Dev Ji, right? Of course, in Jagannath Puri and other temples also we see. There's another interesting story. So Jagannath Ji doesn't take a bath every day because he is Daru Brahma. Brahma means Supreme Lord. Daru means wood. Right? Because he has appeared in the form of a wood, you cannot give him a bath every day. What happens if you put wood in water every day?
Will rot now.
Yeah. So they paint him, right? They paint Jagannath, but not with normal paint. This is a natural pigment painting they do. So if you bathe him, the pigment will come out, and they will have to paint him every time. Every day unko paint karna padega. So what they do in Jagannath Puri is they give a snan to Jagannath Dev with a mirror. They show mirror in front of Jagannath and they bathe the mirror, right? So Jagannath's reflection is in the mirror. You bathe the mirror and Jagannath gets that snan. Like you're doing this virtual call, that's a virtual bath for Lord Jagannath. So Jagannath is having this virtual bath. So when Jagannath is there, every year there is something called as, now the Jagannath Yatra is gonna come. Before that, there's something called a Snan Yatra, where he takes a public bath. So Jagannath Ji comes out and they give him bath, right, with water. So that is where that is called Avasara, right? Anavsara. It means special. It's a special day. Anavsara means in those times when I stay given a bath, after the bath, there's no darshan of Jagannath. It's closed. So the Avsara, which is good, Anavsara is not a good time, right? So Anavsara means you cannot get a darshan of Jagannath. It's closed. It's unauspicious, right? So I'd send a story of Lord Alarnath in the WhatsApp group. I don't know how many of you remember. So when there's no darshan of Jagannath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the devotees every day go to Lord Alarnath to take darshan because he's no other than Jagannath. So that's a separate story, right? So that time they say Jagannath falls sick when they give him a bath after the bath, and he's given juices and herbal remedies, etc. But that is the time they privately paint him with herbal pigments. So then after 15 days, when his paint is dried, everything is done, Jagannath comes out fresh. There's a grand procession. Jagannath coming out of Jagannath Mandir to go to Gundicha Dham. And that's a Yatrata. He goes and he comes back. So every year there is only painting. So when Adhik Mas comes in Ashad Mas, there's a change of body, the transcendental body of Lord Jagannath. So this Adhik Mas is also glorious in the way that Purushottam himself appears and reappears and disappears like that. Right? So that's the second part. Narsim Dev story. Second story is this. Right? The third story is that, every month in the Vedic calendar has a presiding deity. right? In fact, not every month, everything, right? Water has Varun Dev, Vayu has Vayu Dev, which is breeze, fire has Agni Dev. When we do a fire sector wise, we have to offer Swaha, right? We say so many mantras. Bharat Varshe, Bharat Khande, we name where we are. Lalit Bhagya Name, Aham Asmi Bhuho, means I'm giving this. We take name of the person is offering. But when we do this offer to Ahuti in the fire, we always say it like this. We always do it with 3 fingers. Why do we do it with 3 fingers? Anybody knows?
No.
Okay. So if it was just fire, we would have thrown the way we want. But fire has a vahan, and that is the deer. So Agni Dev ka thing is a deer. So what happens if you do this shadow आया तो इसका क्या आता है? If
Deer
it's
वाला.
हाँ
Deer वाला.
हाँ deer वाला तो इसलिए हम उसको ऐसे करते हैं, right? So this is the vahan for us to offer ahuti to Agni Dev, right? So we keep our hand in this way so that the shadow shows up, which represents the order carrier of Agni Dev. At that time, and also other thing we should remember, Agni Dev has a very small mouth. He can only take so much ahuti. So that's why we give very little. Therefore, they say in a yagna that don't throw from behind. It will land on someone's head. You come close and offer it to fire. It's a small mouth he has, right? So therefore, we generally, if we are very far away from the yagna, we offer it in a small cup, and later we go and offer the cup to the fire. So Agni Dev has a very small mouth. He cannot take more than that. Therefore, we offer only so much. So, right. So the point I'm making is that every padarth, every external manifestation has an internal personality. That Chandra Dev, Surya Dev, Vayu Dev, Agni Dev, Varun Dev, all these personalities are there. Similarly, planets have personalities. Mercury, Venus, Buddha, Mangal, Shani, Saturn, Sadesh, Shani, Shanishcharya, Shani Dev, Saturn is called, all of the Brahaspati, all the Shukra is Venus, and so on and so forth. Right? So there are many personalities behind the planets. Similarly, there are personalities behind the dates also, or behind the days also. Ravivar, Sun, Somvar, Moon, Mangalvar, Budh, like the Budhvar, like that, right? So every day also has a meaning. Even Ganga, Maya, Yamuna, Maya, they all have presiding deities, right? So similarly, every month has a presiding deity. And that month being a presiding deity is a female personification and has a presiding demigod, right? So because it is Adhik Mas, there is no person taking care of this month, no personality, because it's an extra month. So there's no assignment, no allotment that you are a person and this is your Ishtadev, right? Nothing. And therefore you see, because of this extra month, there is no tithis. So when you go to a Karmakandi Brahman and tell him मुझे dates बताओ, वो बोलेगा इस month में गृह प्रवेश नहीं हो सकता, इस महीने में शादी नहीं हो सकती, इस महीने में उपनयन संस्कार कुछ नहीं हो सकता, because there is no tithi. He'll say ना 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 ना, ये month तो mal maas है. Mal maas. Mal means dirt, which is something that is useless because there is no tithi. So it's a useless month. Only once in 2.5, 3 years it comes, there is no tithi. Why do you want to do it in this time? This is mal mas. Let it pass. It's useless. It's good for nothing. And then we will take care. But there is a history, right? The history is, you're with me, right? Sorry, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
भगवान का मंथ तो मलमास के वो इतना बुरा मंथ थोड़ी होगा.
अभी बता
Everything
रहा
is
हूँ ना
God
story.
only, na?
That's what I'll tell the story. Is it interesting, all of this stuff?
Yeah. Very.
Yes.
So there's a history. So what our Vaishnava Acharyas mentioned about this one, they say it is Malmas. We all agree this is Malmas, but it's not the Malmas. You think this is Malmas. It is the Malmas. We think this is Malmas. The Vaishnava Acharyas are saying, which means it may be useless. It may be dirty. It may not be as auspicious for karma kanda, ritualistic, materialistic, religious activities. But this month is so powerful. Our acharyas in the Padma Puran, especially it has been described, Skanda Puran, Padma Puran, describe the glories of Purushottam Adhik Mas. They say that this month is so powerful that the Supreme Lord told this month something very interesting, which I will tell you in a few minutes. Something very interesting, right? They say this month is so powerful, it is certainly Mal Mas, which means if you follow the rules and vrata of this month, the mal, the dirt in the heart gets destroyed. Right? So why is it called Mal Mas? Because the dirt in our heart, the material attractions in our heart, the bad qualities, our ego, all of that get destroyed in this month. So one meaning of Malmas is as dirty as useless because there's no tithi for any Graha Pravesh, Garbhadhan, Vivah, anything, right? Right? Any karma kandik performance, no tithi, therefore Malmas. But Vaishnavacharya say it is powerful that by performing vrat in this month, the mal in the heart gets destroyed. Therefore, it is Malmas. It is a mal nivaras mas. It destroys the mal in our heart, right? So if you go into the pages of Padma Purana, which describe the glories of this mal math, this Purushottam Adhik Mas, Padma Purana describes, right, a story, right? This story basically says that, it starts with it starts with Narad Muni, asking about this and so on and so forth. But I'll come to the short part of it. So this story, which is about, it starts with the Pandavas. So, we know Yudhishthira Maharaj was obliged to participate in gambling, lost everything. As a result of it, Pandavas had to live in the forest with physical danger, struggle, and then Draupadi's insults happened. They were living through a lot of tough time. So it is described that during their Vanvas, they came to our Braj Mandala, our Vrindavan forest. Vrindavan has 12 forests as in Vrindavan. Right, so they came to one of the forests called Kamevan. So even today, there's Braj Mandal Parikrama, 30 days Parikrama, where you can go to Braj Mandal and they take you through all the forests and all the spots of all the kathas that have happened. It's very interesting. It's my aspiration to also go 30 days, just be in Vrindavan forest, right? So they came to a forest, which is one of the Vrindavan forests called Kamevan. Kamevan, even now there's a kund called as the Pandava Kund and there's a Yudhishthira Tirtha. This is where Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas stayed. So when they were there, they were calling out to Krishna in so much struggle. Krishna came and he saw them and his heart broke. He was very sad. He was very angry. He was in so much sorrow and lamentation. He wanted to destroy the whole world. How dare these Pandavas who are so dear to me, because of the Duryodhana and Dushasan, they have to go through all this. They have been stripped of everything and I'm not liking it. So Krishna said to the Pandavas, what did he say? So when Krishna decided that he's destroying the whole world, Yudhishthira Maharaj folded his palms and said, Krishna, no, this is our own karma. Stop, don't do anything. But instead of destroying the world, you destroy our suffering. This is the qualities of a Vaishnava, right? Speak a history to us, some katha to us, Krishna, which will inspire us to be free from our suffering. So when Yudhishthira Maharaj is asking Krishna, please speak some Hari Katha, Krishna says, okay, now I will speak to you about something very, very interesting. Krishna mentions, listen carefully. Okay, please listen carefully. Oh dear Pandavas, in your previous incarnation, Purushottam Adhik Mas came to the calendar and all of you failed to worship this month. As a result of neglecting this month and the offense of neglecting this month, this is your situation today. Your situation of complete devastation in this life is because you neglected the worship of Purushottam Adhik Mas. This is why this has happened. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, Purushottam Adhik Mas, what is that? So Krishna said, okay, I'll tell you another history, what this month is, and then I'll tell you why you're in the situation because of not following it. Krishna mentioned that this personality, Purushottam Adhik Mas, because all these tithis have a personality behind it. I spoke about it, right? But Purushottam Adhik Mas was called Mal Mas, dirty, useless, inauspicious. So no tithis, nobody wanted the month. So the personality behind Purushottam Adhik Mas, this Adhik Mas went to Brahmaji. She went to Brahmaji. She said, oh Vidhata, oh Shishtikarta, please give me some astitva. I am the extra man. I am the one that comes between Suryadev and Chandradev. You see, last time who came between Suryadev and Chandradev was in my message. Rahu came, right? In the Samudra Manthan Leela, when they were giving Amrit to everybody, Rahu came and sat in the demigods, in the god side of the section, right? But then when the sun and moon realized that this is actually a demon who's sitting with us, all the demigods realized his head was cut out and the body came out as Ketu and the head came out as Rahu. That's why Rahu Ketu. But Rahu Ketu have Rahu Keti, they got that Amrit. So they will always be living. They've got that Amrit, right? But anyway, their head was cut out overall. So similarly, this Purushottam, this Adhik Mas, this Prakriti said, when Rahu came between Surya and Chandra, just with the desire of taking Amrit, but by cheating, what happened? There was destruction. But still, because he had the Amrit, he was immortal. But he cheated to come between Chandra and Surya. But look at me. I am coming here to balance the solar and the lunar calendar. I am coming between them. Why should I be treated like Rahu? Why should I be kept aside? Ramaji said, very good question. Let's go to Vishnu. So taking Adhik Mas, this Adi Shakti personality, they went to Vishnu. And in Vaikuntha, this Istri started crying. The goddess started crying. Vishnu said, nobody cries in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha is the place where Akunta Viknuta Dishnaya. Forget about crying. People are crying because they're in happiness. But you are crying because you're in distress. What brings you here? And she spoke her heart. She said, I have no master. I'm like a widow. I'm like an orphan. Nobody likes me. I have no relatives. Nobody wants me. I'm Malmas. Please help me. Vishnu said, very interesting question. I have to take it to a higher authority. Vishnu with Brahmaji then took the Devi of Adhik Mas to Golok Vrindavan. What is Golok Vrindavan? Golok Vrindavan is the place where Krishna is there. All of us have the desire not to go to Vaikuntha, but we want to go to Golok Vrindavan because that is the highest planet in the world where Krishna is there. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, right? So when she was entering Golok Vrindavan, it is described that the distance between Vaikuntha and Golok Vrindavan is 50 crore yojanas. 50 crore yojanas. One yojana is 8 miles. So 50 crore into 8 miles. Right? So when they were entering into Golok Vrindavan, there was so much effulgence coming from it. Right? From this. So this Adhik Mas Istri or Prakriti, she felt so happy that the effulgence from the door is so much. How much happiness would be from inside? She went and cried. Krishna said, you don't worry. I am Rasaraj. Any gopi who has been rejected by her father or by her father-in-law, I play my flute and I accept. You don't have to worry. I will accept you. But who am I? I am Purushottam. You don't have to worry. Other monks have demigods who are the Adi Shastri Devs. But your Adi Shastri Dev will be me. Your master, your Prannath will be me. I'll take care of you. Not just that, I will give you my name. And I'll give you my name as Purushottama. And I'll give you that name as Purushottama. Right? You don't worry. Why are you worrying? Right? I want to share my name with you. I'm building a relationship with you. I will marry you. Isn't that so powerful? Nobody wants. But if you go to Krishna and says, Krishna, take me, Krishna says, okay, I'll marry you. No qualifications, nothing. Right? Which means you get my name and whatever is mine is all yours. All my qualities are yours. All my opulences are yours. Which means this month will be so dear to Krishna, right? As all of Krishna's Aladini Shaktis. All of Krishna's Aladini Shaktis. Krishna is the Prannath for this month. Therefore, all the opulences of this month of Krishna are in this month. The mercy factor of Krishna is in there as a month. Right? It is described in the Padma Puran, Skanda Puran, that if someone takes 1 million holy baths, that doesn't equal 1 day of performance of Purushottam Adhik Mas. This is such a wonderful, glorious month. Krishna explains in Golok Vrindavan to Adhik Mas that Sankirtana, Satkarma, chanting of the holy names, hearing Hari Katha, fasting, austerity, all of these things fructify in this month. In fact, this month is even glorious than Chaitra and Vaishak month. It is 1,000 times more beneficial than Kartik month. And every year we say the most beneficial month or the most spiritually high month is Kartik month. But Krishna has given power to this month that you're 1,000 times more beneficial than even Kartik month. How amazing, right? It's such an amazing thing. Though, as Vaishnavas, we know Kartik month is Radharani's month. And now we know Purushottam month is Krishna's month. How can Krishna, Purushottam, Adhik Mas be 1,000 times more merciful than Kartik Radharani? I can't understand, right? It's only by Radharani's mercy, but by Kartik Mas's mercy. So this month is very, very, very powerful, right? So Krishna spoke this history of this month to Yudhishthira Maharaj. When Yudhishthira Maharaj asked, what is this? When Yudhishthira asked, what is this Purushottam month? Krishna said, this is the history of the month. And anyone who follows this vrat will come back to me in this one lifetime. How many lifetimes has it taken? Millions of lifetimes to come to this human body. But Krishna is saying, whoever follows the vrat in this month will come back to me in one lifetime. This lifetime, we have the opportunity to go back, get eternal happiness. So powerful is this month. This is the benediction that this month has. Right? Million holy baths doesn't equal 1 day of performance of any austerity in this month, right? 1,000 times more beneficial than even Kartik month, which is when Diwali and all come, right? Overall, right? So he said, whoever follows this vrat in this month will come back to me in one lifetime. Krishna told Adhik Mas Devi in front of Vishnu and Brahma, keeping both of you as Sakshi, I say this to Golok Dham. I say this in Golok Dham. It is very, very difficult. But if someone follows 1 month of Vrat and respects you, if one person respects you when you're being criticized by everyone, that person who respects you in this month will be mine. I will pull his hand and bring him to Golok. So therefore Krishna mentioned to Pandava that this is your history. Right? So they didn't follow this month. Then Draupadi Devi was listening and she says, wait a minute, I'm married to them in this lifetime. My 5 husbands, they did not follow Purushottam Adhik Mas. I agree, but what about me? I'm married to them only in this life. Why do I have to go through all this? What about my history? So Krishna says, no, I will come to your history, right? So he's telling Draupadi's history. He said, oh, Draupadi, you are actually the daughter of a great sage by the name Medhavi. Medhavi Rishi was so advanced that he was absorbed in bhajan all his life that he forgot to get you married. He was so absorbed in bhajan in his whole life because he only did bhajan. Right? How it is so funny how transcendently absorbed a father can be, right? So imagine fathers are so attached to their daughters, but Madhava Rishi did one whole life of bhajan, and in his old age he looked at his daughter. He said, "Oh, I forgot to get you married. So many years have passed. I'm busy doing bhajan." And after this, the Medhavi Rishi died. So this daughter became all alone. She was so beautiful, young. She became all alone. She walked around helpless. So what do I do? What about my life? What happens? So that's when Durvasa Muni came there. Durvasa Muni was the best friend of Medhavi Rishi. He said, don't worry, you're the daughter of my best friend. I'll help you. What do you want? She said, I want to get married. My life, my youth is getting lost. I want someone who can help me. Durvasa Muni said, it's very simple. Why are you asking for a husband of this world? You can get that husband next month. Yes, you can get that husband. Because next month is Purushottam Adhik Mas. Just follow this one. And not only any husband, you can get Purushottam as your husband. So you can get Krishna as your husband. But she did not have too much respect for that. She said, wait a minute, what is all this nonsense? According to Jyotish Mas, this is Mal Mas. There's no Tithi. You can't do auspicious things here. And you're saying I can get married, and that too with Krishna? I can get married to the Supreme Lord by following this month? Stop joking, Durvasa. Now, Durvasa Muni is known for his anger, right? There are many, many stories about his getting angry. Right? You can mess up with many people in this world, but not with great sages, and definitely not with Durvasa Muni. Right? So you have to be careful. So, right? So, in fact, there's another story of Durvasa Muni that I remember now. So one day, this is a story I heard from another Gaudiya Vaishnava, that great Acharya, that one time when Durvasa Muni was performing Vrat, he was sitting and meditating. One boy went to him with a scissor and cut the beard of Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni opened his eyes and said, what is going on? The boy said, I just had wanted to have some fun, so I cut your beard. Durvasa Muni said, you like cutting into other things, chewing into other things, and I have pleasure. I curse you, may you become a crocodile. So immediately became a crocodile. The crocodile started crying. He said, I was just a little child. I was just innocent. I was just trying to be naughty. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Durvasa Muni says, I can't take my curse back, but I can reduce the effect if you want. He said, please do something. So he said, I'll make you a crocodile in the Ganga, right? And in Kaliyug, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will come and do Sankirtan on the banks of Ganga. You come out, you touch his lotus feet, and then you won't get the body of a boy. You will go to your eternal Sarup and go back to Golok Vrindavan. How about that? Oh, it's a very, very good benediction. He said, the boy said, oh, good, I could have cut that beard a little more. Of course, he didn't say that, right? So, and there's a story, there's a place you can go when you go to Mayapur, the place where this crocodile kid appeared. Everybody said, don't go into that small pond because that crocodile is, but Chaitanya Babu went. As soon as he touched, he got liberated and went back to Godhead. Going back to Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is actually the Ansh avatar of Lord Shiva. That's why the anger. He can get softer than a lotus and bless, but can get angry than a thunderbolt and curse. So he said, yes, you have no faith in Purushottam Adhik Mas. Okay. You're the daughter of my best friend and you've criticized me. I forgive you. But you have criticized Purushottam Adhik Mas. Therefore, I curse you. May you get old very quickly and get very old right now. She fell at the feet of Durvasa Muni. She said, no, I have no one. Please don't do this. My father was doing bhajan all the life. He forgot to get me married. And then you are the best friend of my father. You came to help me. I didn't have faith in this Purushottam Adhik Mas, please forgive me, but to curse me and I'll become old, this is too much. He said, because you criticize Purushottam Mas, reactions will come. If not this month, life, next life. Right? He said, maybe in the next life, not this life. Right? So he said, okay, what do you want in this life? She said, I just want a husband overall. He said, but now you're already old. How can anybody have a husband? So she said, okay, please do something. So he said, okay, please pray to Lord Shiva. So she was very old and she prayed to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva appeared because he's Ashutosh. Ashu means quickly and Tosha means appearing. He appeared and she said, and he said, what do you want? She said, I want a husband. 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 He cried like that 5 times. So he said, okay, I'll give you 5 husbands. She said, no, I only want 1 husband. But Lord Shiva said, you asked me 5 times. It's my duty. All Devtas are watching. Devtas will say, she said 5 times. How can you give only 1 husband? So she got these 5 husbands, right? So that blessing of Lord Shiva came true. But because she criticized Purushottam Adhik Mas, she struggled with the Pandavas, who had also criticized, and same karma came together. And Krishna speaking all this at Kamavan to Yudhishthira Maharaj, and he said, now there's a way for all of you to be free. Next month is Purushottam Adhik Mas. Just follow the Purushottam Adhik Mas. You'll be freed from all the Vanvas. You'll be freed from everything. Don't worry, and you will come back to my eternal abode. So Padma Puran describes these beautiful histories, right? Overall, and there are many, many stories of people who perform Purushottam Adhik Mas Vrat and how they got happiness in this world. Very, 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 very powerful, right? So now coming back to what is it for us, right? This month is thousands and thousands of times more powerful than any month, and is now coming in 7 days on the 17th of May. 17th of May, we start our Vrat, or we start our Purushottam, we take Sankalp for this month. Right? 1 day before, if you want, you discuss with any of other devotees to say, what is the Sankalp I should do in this month? We follow a Sankalp, but we follow a Vrat. Now, this Vrat could be multiple things, right? Depending on your capability, you can do what you like. It's not that you have to not eat all this month. You don't have to do any of those. So you have to understand what you have to do, right? So now you understood the whole meaning of the month, of Purushottam, of Adhik Mas, and so on and so forth, right? This is the final part of our discussion, right? So the best thing to do in this month is to reside in a holy place, in a dham, in a temple. But of course, with our family, our work, and so on and so forth, we cannot do it. But there is a temple, one temple we can live in, and that is the temple of our house, right? So there's a song, Mana Mana Mandire Raho Nisidina Krishna Murari Shri Krishna Murari. So we can live in the temple of our house, right? And install the deity of Krishna in the temple of our heart. So that is the first thing, which is Dham Vas. This month, remember Krishna is in your heart overall. Second, all the time. Second, hear lectures, right? I can send you some lectures of senior Vaishnavas overall. I'm happy to send you lectures. Try and listen to one lecture every day, depending upon your capability time you have. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, whatever time you have, right? Overall. Third thing people do in this month is read the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. I know we have not covered it, but that chapter is called Purushottam Yoga or Purushottam Yoga, right? There are many beautiful verses in this chapter, which you can read. Generally, people read this chapter in this month. Another important thing to do in this month is do charity, right? Overall, they say in holy months like this, a very senior ISKCON Vaishnav speaker, he said, in this month, we should give away Sona. Sona tag na chahiye, right? Give in charity. But if we can't give that, we should give up some other Sona. What is the other Sona? Sleeping, right? So try and get up early in the morning, in the Brahma Muhurat, chant. If possible, go to an ISKCON temple, attend Mangal Aarti. So do simplicity in sleeping. Sleep early, get up early, right? Then you can chant and sing various bhajans. You've learned Joy Radha Madhav out of it, right? There are many beautiful bhajans. Again, I can share. Do your japas. The most important thing in this month, how do you have Krishna in your heart? Please start chanting if you haven't. You know the Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I reached 16 rounds in this month and I've never gone back, right? But do whatever you can. If you're doing one, do two. If you're doing two, do four. If you're doing four, you can do eight. If you're doing eight, do 16. Whatever you feel like. If you don't chant, start with one, right? Yatha Shakti, Yatha Bhakti. As much as we can do, as much faith as we have, you can do as many rounds. People do 32 rounds, 64 rounds in this month, but if we don't have the capability and the time, don't do it. But please start chanting if you haven't. If you are doing, this is the time to go deep, right? If you can reach 16 rounds this month, this is life changing. It changed life for me, right? Within 6 years, I'm telling you a katha. It is all mercy of Purushottam month and Guru and my Gurudev. So which is basically what you can also do, right? Second, next thing you can do is there are two Ekadashis this month. We should follow both the Ekadashis to the best of our ability. Whatever, I've given you levels in my messages, right? From Nirjal to Sajal to eating fast, not eating, eating normal food, but no eating onion, garlic, grains, and pulses. Whatever level you want to do, you can do, right? If again, do it as what your body allows and what your age allows. Don't torture yourself. Right? Performing bhakti for Krishna, what we call as samshidhar, the word uses samsidhir hari toshnam, which means do it according to Hari's name, do it according to your body rather than dry austerity. Right? If by keeping a light stomach, you can focus better than chant the holy name, but if you want to eat, you eat properly, right? You take prasad and eat, right? Another thing, continue your Tulsi Seva, right? If you start offering obeisances to Krishna, right? If you offer one obeisances, offer two, offer three, right? Depending upon your age, physical ability, right? The 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan used to do 3 things this month. They used to do massive amount of japas, they used to sing kirtan, and they used to read ashtakams from the Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And they used to offer obeisances, 4 things or 3, 4 things they used to do, right? Another thing we can do in this month is offering a ghee lamp to Krishna. That's just like we do in Kartik Mas, right? Some temples, some homes have this concept of having a Khanta Deep. This is a good time to start. But again, if you can't manage it, don't do it, right? Safety is important. Your own comfort is important overall. But seva bahut zaruri hai. Go to a temple, donate some money, donate something, serve Vaishnavas. It's very important. If you have the Bhagavad Gita, don't give Bhagavad Gita to more people, right? If you connect more people to Krishna on this month, it's very, very special to Krishna. Another thing people do in this month is brahmacharya, that can abstain from sex, right? Again, your family, your circumstances, your willpower, none of this is sacrosanct. Please do it as per what you are comfortable with. If you do this, dirty thoughts come to mind. Don't act upon it. Don't speak about them. Chant, right? Another thing you should not do this month is gossip, unnecessary talk, prajalpa. Speaking lies is worse, something that we can give up, something, speaking truth and keeping away from faults, from all the faults, right? So again, some devotees even say, I'll eat once a month. But again, completely your level, see what you want to do, and completely follow, what is possible. If you have a senior, Vaishnava devotee near you, or a teacher or a counselor, discuss with them what you want to do and what is comfortably, whatever you can enthusiastically do. But whatever you do, please do it every day, right? It should not be कि मैंने आज शुरू किया नहीं किया, तो इतना ज्यादा मत करो कि जो तुम मैनेज नहीं कर पाओ, right? Overall, do only what you can manage, right? But say one day before the month, don't be over ambitious. I'm going to chant so much, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, but don't try and do everything, right? So we should only take a little, as much as we can keep truth for the whole month and we can keep for the month. And let us not take it on the basis of our mind's dictation. Practically think क्या कर सकते हो क्या नहीं कर सकते. Chanting जरूर करो. Chanting अगर नहीं करते हो तो वो शुरू करो, बढ़ाओ इस महीने. बाकी जो तुम कर सकते हो, do it, right? So that's basically the whole month. I think we finished almost on time. I'm 4 minutes ahead of time. But if you have any questions, happy to take it.
Lalit, what's the significance of this 16 rounds that everyone keeps talking? Why 16? 16 से क्या होता है? और ये 108 ही क्यों होता है? एक माला में
तो हमारे जो गुरुदेव है वो शिला प्रभुपाद, राइट? भक्ति भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर actually used to say that you should do 64 rounds, right? Overall. But our guru, again, whatever guru tells us is the right thing to do, right? So our guru Srila Prabhupada told us that you should do 16 rounds, right? The other logic of 16 rounds, which is not what Prabhupada said, but some devotees say is, right, is that how many breaths do we take in a day? Does anybody know?
No.
So we take about 27,000 something breaths every day. A human takes, right? Understand? And when you do 16 rounds into 108, and every Mahamantra has 16 names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So 16 into 108 into 16 is 27,600 something, which is the amount of breath people take in a day. So by 16 rounds, every breath of yours, you are giving it to Krishna. But this is not what Prabhupada has told us, but there are some devotees who say this, right? And 108 is considered to be spiritually complete, right? It is the sacred number in the Vedic literatures. There are 108 Upanishads. There are 12 zodiacs, signed 12 zodiacs into 9 planets, which is 108. It represents the completeness of the creation, right? So chanting 108 times, you complete cycles of remembrance, right? So 108 beats is one full circle of connecting with Krishna, right? And one round equal to chanting this 108 times the Mahamantra.
Wow.
Right? So it's not random. It is coming from the scriptures overall. Typically, one round should take you 7-8 minutes, right? If you do it properly. 16 rounds will take you 2 hours. So if you have 2 hours, you can do it. If you don't have, please don't do it. Whatever you take, you please do it properly, right? Same thing you should do. Same thing you should do. Thank you. My son is giving flowers to his mom. This the same thing you should do every day, right? So just ensure whatever you do it rightly, right? Whatever
But Lalit,
you can your body your time allows.
Lalit, just one question. So this whole chanting should be done in one sitting, or can it be done like I do some now and then some later? How is it like? What is it?
See, the ideal is that you do it in one sitting in the Brahma Muhurat, right? Before the
Okay.
sun.
Mm,
But it's okay. We are not living in ideal world, right?
mm,
If you
mm,
can't do it in one sitting, do it in multiple sittings, right?
mm,
But whenever you do it, just ensure you are hearing every name properly. Hare
mm,
Krishna, your ear should hear it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Again, your tone
mm,
can be your tone. You don't need to follow anybody's tone. It's your
mm,
tone, your time, your things. Ideally, do it in the mornings. But if you can't, then break it up. It's fine. The key is to
mm,
start, give the commitment, do it as per your comfort, but make that commitment. This is the month you will do it, right? Overall.
mm, mm.
So this you will see is the month that can change everything for you. The trajectory बोलते हैं हाथ की लकीर चेंज हो जाती है अगर ये मन में आपने अच्छा से करा तो दिस none of this matters. This हाथ की लकीरें all go out of the window because this month is so powerful, right? तो बट आप अच्छा से चैन करो जो भी करो अच्छा से करो जो आपके लेवल हो मैंने फॉर एग्जांपल फॉर मी I started doing 16 rounds. This is the month I left Aryan Garden. But by Krishna's grace, I've been able to continue it all the international travel, work travel, all my schedules. I've still been able to maintain it. 16 rounds, I've been able to do it, right? There are devotees who do a lot more than me. I'm still not doing enough, right? But do what your time, your body, your thing allows. But please take a pran and do it, right?
Yeah.
If it helps, everyone in the group, we can encourage each other. I think there was one idea Reena ji had given earlier that whoever is chanting can just say, I did 8 rounds, I did 4 rounds, I did 2 rounds. So that others also get encouraged. We can do that also. Again, whatever helps everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, so I wanted to do this desperately today because you're 7 days and I didn't want you to miss the chance of this amazing opportunity. Please try your best to do what you can. And I'm there if you want to talk to me, anything that I can help you in this month, and generally also feel free to reach out. I'm very grateful for all of you to come in. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ram to everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.